town. Lakeshore Drive, the road is called, and it'll take you up or down. From rags on up to riches, 15 minutes you can climb. Pretty blue lights along the way, they help you ride on by. And the blue light shining with a heavenly grace, it helps you ride on by. Anywhere I found, running south on Lakeshore Drive, heading into town, and slipping on by on LSD, Friday night trouble bound.
T. Hello, Silver fans. This is T, and you're in the place to be for Silver education, acquisition, and entertainment. Hey, the place to be is Harlan J. Berk in downtown Chicago. Guys, this might be one of the best videos I've ever made. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and stay till the end to see what I purchased. All right, guys. Hey, back here at Harlan J. Berk. You guys know Russ, my viewers. Let me introduce you to one of Russ's partners here at the shop. His name is Mike. Mike, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
And so, Russ, you're a professional numismatist. Mike, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for just under 5 years, but I've been writing and researching about coins for over 15.
Oh, wow. So you're an old school coin collector. You've been in it for a while, huh?
I've been around for the long haul, yeah.
Okay, well, hey, my channel is primarily a silver stacking channel, but you guys know I kind of dabble into coin collecting here and there, just dip my toe a little bit. If a person is a silver stacker, or even if not, if they've heard about coin collecting, or if they've maybe inherited some coins and Grandpa's collection came their way and it's totally intrigued them and they want to get started in coin collecting, where do they start?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can start. Back in the day, it was you would walk into a brick and mortar shop like we are here, and you'd be able to pick somebody's brain. That's gone away a little bit. Brick and mortar shops aren't as popular as they used to be. The internet is still king, but I think the problem with the internet is there's, as Mike will tell you, a lot of misinformation that can really drive guys like us crazy sometimes.
Now, Mike, you're on a quest to educate people, and
Yes.
Just like I am, maybe add a little entertainment as well. Tell us a little bit about your podcast.
So I do a podcast called the Coin Show Podcast, really inventive name. My partner and I, Matt Dinger, have been doing it for almost 13 years. We started out with Matt being a dealer in Indianapolis, and at the time I was a collector. So there was that dynamic of a collector and a dealer and the different ways that they look at things, which we really haven't lost. We come at things from two completely different points of view, and so we like to educate and kind of just enlighten people to different things that they can do.
I will put a link to your program
you.
in my video description. What percentage of your customers, guys, would you say walk in here for precious metal stacking, and what percentage for coin collecting?
I think maybe it's something like maybe a 60-40, 60 bullion, 40 coins, but really it depends on the day. There are days where we don't sell hardly any bullion, and we do a really brisk business in the numismatic side. We also have the factor of being kind of a multi-pronged dealer. We do US, we do world, we do bullion, but what we're known around the world for is our ancient stuff.
Right.
So that's a whole other thing, and
Our situation is going to be a little unique in the fact that we do have a different clientele. We've got clientele in world coins, in US coins, and in ancient coins. And that's going to drive a lot of business on its own. But, particularly since gold and silver have started moving, since 2009, since 2018, we see a lot of people that are dabbling into bullion now, people that normally would not. And they're into it mostly because of they see the movement. They see, a chance. Some of their friends are stacking. Some of that's good. So that's kind of an influence to it, too.
Okay, so it goes both ways.
Absolutely.
Coin collector can dabble in bullion and get
Sure.
into the PMs in that respect. One of the coins that just absolutely intrigues me, and probably everybody who's ever collected coins, is the Morgan dollar. I know enough about Morgan dollars to know I know nothing about Morgan dollars other than they're pretty, they're old, they're cool, they have history. And so are either of you guys pretty well versed with Morgan dollars?
So we both are very well versed in Morgan dollars. It's part of our profession. However, we both absolutely despise Morgan dollars.
Come on, man.
Overrated.
Overrated.
Oh,
Yeah. Mike and I are actually we're very similar in a lot of ways, and that's one of them. We do not like Morgan dollars as collectors.
All right, guys. Hey, it's been a great interview.
No, I mean we have a lot of experience with Morgan dollars
And a great coin to collect.
No,
I mean,
absolutely,
there's absolutely
yes.
nothing wrong with that. But what you're going to find is that, Morgan sat in bank vaults for years and years and years.
Okay.
So you'll be able to find them in top quality condition for most dates and mint marks, even today, 150 years afterwards. Now, if you start talking about something that's circulated for that 150 years,
Yes.
you've got our interest a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's kind of the misnomer with silver dollars in general, is they just didn't circulate. They really did just sit in bank vaults forever.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
out west, they had some circulation, but back east, they did not circulate. Really, the Morgan especially was kind of just a scheme for the production of U.S. silver that was coming out of Nevada.
Wow. You're breaking my heart here, Russ. But this is educational.
It's
to
all
me,
true.
And that's why I'm asking. I'm on this journey, and hey, I would hate to get too deep into Morgan dollars and not know what the heck I'm doing. So it's really interesting to get your perspective. Let me ask you this. There's a lot of guys collecting these, I guess, quote-unquote, semi-numismatic pieces, like the Queen's Beast.
Sure.
And do you guys consider those numismatic, semi-numismatic? I mean, I don't think of it like a trade dollar that's been to the Orient and back, and
I kind of put them in the same category as, most modern mint products. So when the mint comes out with a reverse proof American Silver Eagle, an enhanced reverse proof, and all these things, yes, they have a premium over being a piece of bullion. I don't care about them so much, but there are people that collect them, and anything people collect and
Okay.
makes them happy, I'm happy with.
Time will tell.
okay.
That's it. That's the whole answer to it. There are things that the Mint has created to make collectors out of people that have gone over well.
Yeah.
There are things that have not gone over well, and only time tells. When they came out with the Silver American Eagle, the idea was to create a bullion coin for people to buy silver.
Okay.
They put a date on it.
Yeah.
And inadvertently created a collectible.
Right.
So there are people that collect Silver Eagles by date. That was not an intention. That was completely, but only time showed us
That's
that.
why some of the old timers just think it's totally silly to slap an American Silver Eagle.
So everything kind of, you find out over time.
Okay.
And it really does take time before you figure it out. That said, my best advice to you is collect something that you like. Because at the end of the day, if your $35 silver ends up being worth $15, you've got something you like.
You mentioned that you guys specialize in ancients, and there's something very special set to arrive today.
Yes. Last week we purchased for a client, which is one of the services we do. We purchased for a client a very, very special and exceedingly rare piece. It is an Eidmar denarius in gold. The quick down and dirty story of the Eidmar is that it was struck by Brutus after the assassination of Caesar in 44 BC to basically celebrate the assassination of Caesar. It was made during movements at a military mint. They made them in silver, and they made, so far that we know of, 3 of them in gold.
Only 3?
Only 3 are known. The other 2, there's provenance issues. They're not quite sure. One of them sold for over $4 million a few years ago. The one that we just purchased for our client has been in the British Museum on loan for the last a little over a decade, and it actually is holed. There's a hole in it. The thought is it could have been, they do believe it was done contemporarily, so they do believe it was holed at the time of, or around that time, by someone, maybe in Brutus's camp.
Perhaps something that somebody wore around their neck?
Exactly.
Okay.
But so it's holed, and even though it is holed, we purchased it for just under $2.9 million.
My goodness.
It will be arriving today.
Okay.
We are very, very excited to have it. We're going to take our pictures, we're going to do our thing with it, and then we're going to send it off to its new home.
Okay, well, if it arrives after I leave, I'll be looking forward to seeing those pictures.
Absolutely.
And, if someone is a coin collector and has their eye on a particular piece that they've always wanted, would it behoove them to wait 6 months or 8 months until we're like really into this recession? We're just at the beginning of it now, with the hopes that those prices come down, or do you think people will just hold on to their stuff for dear life and just wait it out?
That is a really complicated question, mainly because I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we're actually in a really hot collectibles market right now. Even with high gas prices and these recession fears and the war in the war in Ukraine and all these things, we are still in a very, very hot collectibles market.
Do you attribute that to, I assume, what happened in 2020 and everybody digging through their closets and looking at their old collections? I know it sparked my interest again.
I think that has something to do with it. I also think that right now we're seeing a lot of younger people get into the hobby. We're seeing guys my age, in their 30s, in their late 20s, in their mid 30s, that are young professionals that now have disposable income. Mm-hmm. They have delayed the family thing. They have, done whatever it is. But I have several clients that are young professionals that, are willing to spend good money on good coins.
Okay.
And I think that is definitely playing a part in it. We're seeing a resurgence of coin collecting as kind of a mainstream thing, as opposed to, what used to be an old man's hobby, for lack of a better word.
I resemble that remark.
I consider it kind of a nerdy hobby myself, and people are surprised that I'm into coin collecting, or at least dabble a little bit. And so that's encouraging for the strength of the hobby and going forward. Now, we've talked a lot about the idea of coin collecting. How about you guys show me a couple of your favorite pieces in the shop?
Sure. Let's see.
That's not hard.
That is a little hard because I have so many.
Let's see. You pull yours, I'll pull mine.
So we were talking about silver dollars.
Okay.
So I don't like Morgans, as we've...
Would you stop saying that, man? I'm not kidding.
But what I collect seated Liberty stuff. Made from 1836 to 1891. They did it in all denominations. When I was a kid, so 12 to 14, I had a type of every denomination. So I had the half dime through half dollar, but the one I could never afford was the dollar, because they generally started around $500, and it's hard to find nice ones. They just did not make a lot of them.
What you're basically telling me is you're taking me from a Morgan Dollar Miller Lite to like a craft brew here.
Yes,
something
this is
a little more sophisticated and has a little more value.
Yeah. So this is an 1871. If memory serves me right, they made about 2 million of them that year, which is one of the highest mintages ever. A lot of seated dollars have mintages in the well under 200,000 range, and a lot of them were melted. A lot of them were actually sent to the Orient. These were trade dollars before trade dollars, and for whatever reason, when you see them, they're generally cleaned or holed, or they have problems. So finding a nice original one is difficult. Where you'll see, MS-67, even MS-68 Morgans, you generally don't see seated dollars over MS-63.
Okay.
Anything over that, and they are really rare. So I really like these. I finally, I have one in my collection that I really love, but I just love having them around because people don't necessarily see good ones all the time.
Yeah. All right, Mike, what you got, man?
Well, mine are a little bit more eclectic, a little bit more scattered. So first, we have a beautiful proof nickel. It has a really nice cameo contrast on both obverse and reverse. This was during a time when that wasn't done on purpose, so it's kind of unusual to find them. It's just a really spectacular coin
It is
from a
gorgeous.
series that doesn't get a lot of love.
Yes.
And it's got that CAC sticker. That means it's been verified. So, Russ or Mike, you guys can describe a lot better than I could what the CAC sticker, that little quote-unquote green bean is. You taught me that one, Russ.
So the CAC sticker is it's Certified Acceptance Corporation. It's run by John Albanese, who is a legend in numismatics and grading. Basically, it's his approval. We jokingly around here call it Albanese's kiss. He has kissed the coin. He has said this coin is worthy.
Okay.
But it's an extra step of that someone agrees with the grade. It's another opinion.
Okay.
But that green sticker can mean a whole lot. There's also a gold sticker, which means he believes it's undergraded.
Okay.
And coins that are stickered often bring much stronger prices than
Okay.
coins that are not.
And coins with gold stickers bring even
Yes.
sillier prices
Okay.
at times.
That's that
I've got
gold
three others real quick. If you don't
let's
mind.
see.
So this is a $2.50 gold.
Okay.
It's the sesquicentennial piece, so it was made in 1926 for our country's 150th anniversary.
Nice.
$2.50 gold commemoratives. Those are very cool.
I notice these have prices on the back. Are these prices the actual prices, or
Yeah.
are they up for
they
negotiation
are.
at all?
Wow.
Or?
Everything is up for negotiation in our shop. I mean, we don't kick people out for giving us
An intelligent
reasonable-
counteroffer.
Yeah,
Okay.
we haggle all the time. There's things that we can haggle on. I mean,
Okay.
And there are things that we just don't have any room on.
Yeah, this isn't Maxwell Street back in the day.
Yes.
No, but it's not far. This is a set with a story.
Okay.
So this is the 1995 gold Eagle proof set.
Okay.
And in that year, they decided to give a bonus.
Wow.
And the bonus that they gave was a Silver Eagle. And they made the Silver Eagle at West Point. The proof Silver Eagles that year were made in Philadelphia. So that's a special coin that was only given to the people that bought the gold set.
Okay.
You had to pay $1,000 for the gold set, and you could get the coin for free, which put it out of the price range of most Silver Eagle collectors.
Sure.
Which means that the 31,000 of these that exist are highly prized.
Oh, I bet.
several
and
$1,000s.
really, really set the Silver Eagle collectors off because they just put a coin completely out of their reach.
And if you're the ultimate American Silver Eagle
You
collector,
want that one.
You got to have that one.
And lastly, this is a coin with a lot of stories.
Okay.
So that one is a Spanish mill dollar, but that circulated in the Far East during the 17 and 1800s. Every single one of those marks that is on there is called a chop mark. Mm-hmm. And what they basically come from is they would be used in commerce. A merchant would take the coin, he would look at it, he would assay it in his mind to see whether or not he thought it was okay. If he thought it was okay, he put his seal of approval on it, and other merchants that knew his seal of approval then knew that they could accept it.
I see.
The fact that there are probably 30 chop marks on this means that it did a lot of business, and this particular coin can tell a lot of stories.
That is very cool. I was so intrigued by a couple of those that I came across on my silver stacking journey that I added them to my collection, and I actually made a video about them, and I'll put a link to that one here. How cool. I mean, you just sit there and with the idea that where this thing has traveled, whose pocket it was in, whose treasure chest it was in,
Absolutely.
and what it bought and sold is just really captivating. Guys, I think we could spend probably a few hours here and not get bored, but we're going to close it down for this particular video. fellas, I can't thank you enough for the time and the education you've given me and my viewers. Mike, thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Russ, thank you.
Always a pleasure.
And I think when it comes to coin collecting and us making videos together, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So thank you for the time.
Of course.
Hey everybody, before I show you what I purchased, let me thank my channel members and a special shout out to my newest channel members, Hollywood and Sherry. And thank you for watching. And it is now time to show what I purchased at Harlan J. Berk. Hey, Engelhard bars. For a silver stacker like me, it's hard to pass those up. And I got a pretty good price on them to boot, considering they're vintage, which I love. Also, a Mexican onza. And hey, I see a Libertad and I buy it. It's as simple as that. They're hard to find anymore. And I also picked up a little gold for my stack collection. T.